engineering for this project. We can continue with the design. And that's where we're at with those two. Thanks again. Great job.
Thank you, Barbara.
All right, thank you, Sean and Barbara. Move on ahead here. So next project is the Hanover Branch Rail Trail extension. The rail trail is open. The crossing at intersection of Hanover Street, Route 139, at Pleasant and Circuit Street, that still needs to be constructed. Signals will be updated with push button activated crossing controls for bicyclists as well as pedestrians. And the design for that crossing is at 25% with anticipated construction in spring of 2024. But I believe the town is trying to get that constructed well before that date.
Yeah, and so yeah, PSNE is due, is expected later this fall. I think the end of October. So yeah, that would put a construction timeline probably next spring. But yeah, I know that they're looking at the possibility of at least upgrading the signals to get a crossing a pedestrian / bicycle phase in there, because right now it doesn't have any pedestrian controls at all. So, but you know, whether that's feasible or not, I'm not sure, because then yeah, you have to construct ramps and all that stuff. So
yeah, and just here's some neat pictures of them ripping up the rail ties for the path there.
yeah, man, it came out really nice. The trail looks great. They have it. They just constructed a new parking lot for the trail at the intersection of Route 139 at Circuit Street, where the trail crosses Route 139. So yeah, it looks really nice.
We should have an OCPC bike day and ride on the trail.
Yeah, I mean, you can ride all the way, you know, because it connects to the already existing Abington Rockland trail. So you can ride from Abington all the way to East Hanover.
Does anybody have any questions so far? Great. So FHWA came out with a bicycle and pedestrian planning program and project development guidance. This was released on May 19th of this year, and this replaces the guidance that they came out with back in September of 2019. This provides information on bike and ped planning regarding existing requirements under the law or agency policies. And I posted the link here that you can get to this. And then I think one of the most important pieces is this table here, the funding opportunities. On the left side, it shows activity or project type. So like on the top, if you're looking to access enhancements to public transportation, benches, bus pads, and then it gives you a whole list of all the different funding opportunities. And there's two, it differentiates by the money symbol there. The first one's activity, it may be eligible, but restrictions may apply. Or the other one is eligible, but not competitive unless part of a larger project. And I'll send out this link to access this table to all the attendees from the meeting today. Does anybody have any questions on this? All right, so next I'll go over the overall findings for the fatal pedestrian crashes in Massachusetts from 2022, and this data was compiled by Walk Boston. So in Massachusetts, there was a total of 101 pedestrians who lost their lives in 2022. 6 of those 101 were from the OCPC region. We had 1 in Stoughton, 1 in Abington, 3 in Brockton, and finally 1 in Halifax. And looking through the data, more than 60% of the fatal pedestrian crashes, they happened in the dark. In a recent FHWA report found that in 2020, 76% of all pedestrian-related fatalities in the US occurred at nighttime, which is not really surprising, I guess. You can see in the table here, it goes by year fatal pedestrian crashes. You can see that dip in 2020, which is obviously from COVID. And then from there, it's kind of spiked up a lot. People coming out after COVID, a lot more pedestrians, bicyclists. So here's an overall map of where all those fatalities occurred. You can see in Springfield, there's a cluster, Worcester, and then a bigger cluster in Boston. 35 communities had 1 fatal crash, and then 19 communities had more than 1 fatal crash. Brockton being one of those with 3. And then as part of the new safe passing law, Charlie has his hand raised.
Thanks, Kyle. So one of the things I just wanted to point out to, and the folks from MassDOT are probably aware of this, and I know Rob May is on the call as well, but there's an exciting partnership by and between MassDOT, the City of Brockton, and OCPC to accelerate a Safe Streets for All action plan for the City of Brockton. I believe Rob's been on a couple of these calls, so it's not without looking at this data that there's cause for concern. 1 fatality is too many, and we're thankful to MassDOT and the City of Brockton for working on a partnership to address pedestrian and bike safety in the City of Brockton. I don't know if there's anybody from MassDOT Boston on the call, Safety Division. I don't see anybody, but so they're working to address the problem. So that's, credit to them.
Yeah, so
That's all I got.
MassDOT,
Yeah. I guess nobody's going to say anything. So we'll move on.
thanks, Charlie.
Yep.
So MassDOT will be making over 40,000 of these signs that they'll be working with communities to put on public roadways. Motorists give 4 feet to pass. It's part of the new bill that came out. So if you're from a community on the call who hasn't received these signs or contacted MassDOT about that, you should definitely reach out and they can work with you to putting in this new signage. So does anybody have any discussion on bike and ped issues in the region from your community? Anything like that?
Just like to point out, Kyle, Stephanie Danielson put a comment in the chat. She was suggesting for future guest speakers to maybe reach out to police chiefs to talk about, potentially dangerous driving and how we can, maybe try to address that to make things safer for not only drivers, but also for cyclists and pedestrians.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to some police chiefs and see if they'd be able to come on and talk about that. That's a
Thank you
good-
for that input, Stephanie.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Does anybody else have any suggestions for future guest speakers or topics you want to hear? If not on the call today, you can always send myself or Sean an email with suggestions. There's our contact info.
All right,
And,
give a shout out to the Brockton Police Department. I don't know if there's anyone from PD on here, but I know they had a press release yesterday. So in partnership with a law firm in the city, I think it's Breckstone, White, and Glick, I believe. They'll be providing bicycle helmets to kids in the city free of charge. So that's great news for safety.
Bill
Very good.
Schleiman is on from the PD.
Uh,
And I think his picture was in the posting on Facebook too.
So yeah, that's everyone involved with that should be commended. That's a great program, great news for the city.
see, Charlie has his hand raised.
Oh, thank you, Sean. So one of the things MassDOT has that online portal through GeoDot for the bike infrastructure updater tool. We should have a presentation on that so communities can upload their bike infrastructure into GeoDot. And also Mass Trails came out with that Priority Trails Vision Map. It's out for public review, and to perhaps have somebody from Mass Trails to come and talk about trails initiatives as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to reach out to Pete Sutton. He can give that presentation on the bike update reporter. So our next meeting will be September 20th, and then going forward December 20th, and then March 20th of next year.
And
Does
also
anybody-
one thing I just wanted to follow up on, going back to Bill's comment about the law firm that provided the kids' bicycle helmets to the Brockton Police Department. The Brockton Police Department actually provided, I want to say it was maybe 10 helmets to OCPC when we had our Bike with Bat Day at the Bat Center last month. So that was a very nice gesture from the Brockton Police Department, and I believe one or two of the helmets were actually accepted by people who attended the event. So it's, again, thank you to the Brockton Police Department.
This is a very quiet group today. End of fiscal
It is.
year. Everybody's kind of working on these last minute things to get in before June 30th. Just on my behalf from where I sit, just a thank you to Kyle and to Sean and Charlie and obviously Bill and the transportation department, elevating pedestrian and cycling and the sharing of the road. That piece is really important from not just only from Old Colony Planning Council, but from across the Commonwealth. But your work and holding these advisory meetings, I think the suggestion that Stephanie had and the rest of you, September is going to be here in no time, believe it or not, right? Today's the first day of summer, and yet we're already talking about, September for a meeting, but we really want to be able to not just only sit at meetings, we want to make sure we promote. So if you know of any groups or any social media groups, I know Brockton has a cycling Facebook page of people who are suggesting things. I know the Mattapoisett bike trail just opened up, and even though it's not in our region, we're looking to have that connectivity to not only our neighbors to the north, but to the south. These discussions are really important for all of us, and just appreciate the OCPC team and working with all of our partners around the table today. So thank you, and hope all have a great summer.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, that Mattapoisett trail is fantastic. I was down there. I got out a few weeks ago to ride on it. It's the new section with the boardwalk. The bridge is so nice. Goes right by the water.
And with Wildlands Trust on this meeting, I know that their work at DW Field Park, that that's where I did my PMC training. I can do 10 miles and figure that out within the park and just to get some training. But again, I think the more that we as an organization promote cycling, but also safety. And as Charlie mentioned, working with the stakeholders of MassDOT and working for safe streets for all. It really is important as people are looking for other modes. And with gas prices going up, right, they're all seem to be skyrocketing again for the summertime. But if we know of anything and suggestion, as Kyle and Sean had said, for guest speakers for the next time around, let's do that. And I think that that would be really helpful for the benefit of all.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, so I think that's it. Fairly short meeting without having a guest speaker, but thank you all for attending, and we'll work on getting next meeting, having some guest speakers to have some great info for all of you.
Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, everyone.
Great summer.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.